Last summer's epidemic was difficult.
Simpletons, these nurses. Bred with no respect. What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
Please, calm down, madam. I assure you that I am highly qualified. I'm just back from war duty.
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off they are.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. I've seen them scratching slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them.
Hello again.
Good. Good evening.
Evening.
Have you heard?
If you want to know what...
How?
Wait,
Aren't you a?
she's quiet.
So do you let?
And why not?
She could.
And it's a no...
You do.
In her mad...
Goodbye.
The pain. It's here again.
Good evening, Miss.
I need...
You have. Tell me. Do you?
Of course not.
Would you?
No.
Tell me.
I saw one and he saw me.
You mean you actually?
Yes. And it has been the answer.
You have no idea.
Why fear the truth?
Who are you?
Is that...
I'm.
Maris.
I'll leave you. Good evening.
Evening.
Goodbye for now. Good evening.
Good evening.
Pepper.
Yes?
I have
The rules.
Is he?
Hey.
What's
I don't know.
and what?
The milk
If you,
on the...
what can you?
Let me guess.
No matter.
Who said
She could.
that old...
Goodbye. Now.
I thought last time I said
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening.
Do you know if
The people...
have you seen?
I've never...
Goodbye. Good evening,
Doctor.
Kakor.
He was.
Who was that?
I don't.
What was?
It was a.
Why
Are you?
have you heard of any underhand?
I have.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Good evening.
I've decided that I won't.
I'm so glad you shared...
I hope you're right.
Dr. Tip...
Goodbye.
Please, sir. I need help bad.
What's going on?
I'm Blight, sir. Mutant Blight. I've lost my mate. Can't find him anywhere.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed from the Pembroke Hospital. Please, calm down and give me more details.
Oswald and myself were both infantry, sir. We were en route for the hospital, but... well, we had a disagreement.
How long have you been...
I can't go there.
Don't be ashamed. Do you need medical...
No thanks, sir.
What?
It's night.
What?
I'm...
This is a danger...
We were looking for the Pembroke Hospital.
Where was your...
He went down by the...
I have...
Thank you.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals. Or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor. This is despicable. What sort of creature is this? Some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe! I don't want to die here! I want to see the sky and feel the fresh air!
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here!
Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad to help you, but you must calm down first. Please, take a deep breath and tell me your name.
Okay, I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and enjoy the cool night air. It's quite invigorating. I'm sure you'll feel better if you do. Hello again, Mr. Blight.
I'm eternally grateful, Doctor. We were total strangers.
You are always welcome at the Pembroke Hospital. As a former officer, I'll be honored to welcome a fellow veteran.
I'm not giving up on bringing Oswald back to the hospital. I just need to convince him that he needs some help.
Perhaps he needs to reach that decision by himself.
Could you speak to him? He doesn't usually listen to doctors, but perhaps because you've been through it, you can talk him round.
What can you tell me about the war?
War was...
I fought in France.
yeah. The first time I was...
Did you know Oswald?
No.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
They started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, fingers, lips. I couldn't move.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Hello again, Mr. Thatcher.
Yes, this neighborhood may stink of dog.
Why were you...
I went by the canal after an argument with...
Why did you run?
Newton wanted me to go to a hospital.
Tell me about your...
That's what the bloody doc...
Mr. Thatcher.
No.
I understand.
No.
Oswald, why did you not go to the Pembroke Hospital to seek medical help?
I don't trust doctors. All they care about is their careers and processes. I won't be locked in any room again by anyone.
Your fear of being trapped is not going...
I've seen enough butchers.
Do you want to talk about why you have this...
No!
An irrational...
Will Doctor take a guess?
When I rescued you, you expressed joy at seeing...
Jeez, you're good, Doc.
Go on, please. Tell me more.
Newton and I were trapped in a circulation tunnel after an artillery attack. We were buried alive for several days without ever knowing if we'd be found.
Oswald, tell me about what happened when you were buried in that tunnel with Newton.
It was more than dark. It was black as pitch. Hours seemed like days, and days like months. Oh, the terror, the shameful thoughts. Lord have mercy.
What you endured was terrifying. It would have completely destroyed weaker men.
It did not destroy Newton.
Shameful thoughts. Tell me about them.
At some point, I don't remember which day, but when I thought we'd never be rescued, that this would be our end, I thought about...
Say it, Mr. Thatcher. If you ever want to heal, you have to say it.
I thought about what I could do to survive. Just for a few more days. I thought about killing Newton. Killing and eating him. The man I fucking love.
Tell me about your true feelings for Newton.
I love him. I'm not ashamed to say it. He's the best thing that ever happened to me. I can't imagine life without him.
Why should you be ashamed?
I'm not, I said. But Newton sees it differently.
I admire your honesty. It takes courage to stand up to society. The world needs people like you to create change.
Courage is what we needed in the trenches, looking death in the face every day. I speak plain. I speak my mind.
Have you always been this straightforward?
All I know is, before you saved me by the sewer, my only regret was I wouldn't be able to hold or kiss Newton again. I love him, that's all.
Goodbye, Mr. Thatcher. Try to take care of him. Good evening.
Evening.
Do you need...
Don't get me...
I will... Goodbye. Hello again.
Good evening, Doc.
You and Oswald were buried alive during the war. Tell me about it.
Yeah. It was last summer. A shell hit our trench and we were...
Oswald seemed...
It wasn't the first time.
How?
Luckily for us.
How do you feel about...
I love him. I love...
What frightens you?
What if people find out? Oswald says I'm ashamed, but it ain't that. It's more, well...
Enjoy your love. And
I appreciate your kind words, sir.
goodbye, Miss... Do you...
The wound.
That... What did he...
Oh!
Perhaps you're...
If them...
How is your hot...
This is just...
What?
That bar...
I see.
The nurse...
What's...
Come on, Doc.
But you're a...
What are you...
How long do you...
I know this shit...
We can't escape...
I ain't afraid of death.
And who...
I'm the leader of the wet boot.
I'll leave...
Please, I feel sick. Get over here now.
Good evening.
Good evening. Wise choice, Doc.
Bloody leech!
closed.
Over there! There's one of them!
Supposed to be an hospital? A pigsty would smell better. leech is fast! Filthy fucking beast!
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert! Stop it!
I won't end up another drunk arse here in the streets. Not me.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
Medication and drugs are a rare commodity in East London. So you picked an easy target, didn't you?
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with...
I said sod...
Goodbye. How are you?
I'm not your...
Do you need assistance? There you go.
Very funny.
Goodbye.
Boots will be proud of me.
What? No.
Do you know...
It's funny, I've been searching for us.
Really?
Word is she ain't...
What?
Nothing to...
You don't...
Not since the death of...
You mean...
Yeah,
Perhaps...
I'm sick.
Whatever...
I swear.
What is
The
it?
doctor's called...
Yes. Sounds like...
Not ashamed. I just...
A gun? How are you?
I'm not your...
Good.
I won't end up another drunk arsehole littering the streets. Not me.
Swanborough cordial.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested?
Actually...
Then you have come to the right...
Oh, really?
Ah, my...
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane?
I don't like to talk about
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be...
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say... Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Please, I don't have your money. Come on, Barrett, you know, game you pay for peace of mind. Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? We even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Doctor.
Doctor?
Have you...
Nurse Crane. Sort of...
Yes, she's a nurse. And quite a good one. What did she do to gain such...
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to...
That doesn't explain why she...
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offer to sell it for a fair...
How is business?
Business? I have no business.
I see.
It's no secret.
As a...
What do you mean?
Violence, is it?
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came...
Where did this happen?
In the closed workshops nearby. I work there...
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I...
Right then. Excuse me.
Another journalist?
I'm not a
A
journalist.
doctor, you sir.
Really?
I'm Joe Peterson.
Have you heard of a nurse?
Dorothy Crane. Yeah,
Could you please tell me...
she's a nice girl.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town.
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a reputation. Would you say?
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before...
May I ask what you do around here?
I do whatever I want, and sometimes even more. Now sod off.
How did you become...
There's no pride in roughing up.
A job?
I got enlisted by the...
You survive at any cost, even at the expense of...
I don't care what you think.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would have...
Oh, do you really think...
Goodbye.
I should never have taken... Fancy butt.
You never... Joe Peterson.
I'd known Joe for years.
What can you tell...
Colossus Joe was a deep...
It's never easy to find a new path in life.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we?
And no one...
Nobody would be...
Goodbye. Hello, young man. I'm Dr. Reed, and I would like to ask you a few questions. May I enter, please?
Sorry, no, sir. My father does not like people entering our house, you see.
Your father is worried about...
So my father actually worries about me. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So, may I ask you a few questions?
I'm not bothered. What could be worse?
Do you need any...
Yes, I do.
You'll feel better.
I'm not sure.
Do you know...
Yes.
How do you feel?
I'm fine. I mean, it's not easy every... My father is in...
Forgive my...
Why should I?
I'm sure your father did his best when...
That's exactly what my father says. Harry?
If life here is...
I don't...
So that's why you stay at home?
I'm not afraid of disease.
Your father and Mr. Lewis used to be good friends. What happened, Harry?
I was young then. I don't remember Mr. Lewis ever coming back again after my mother died. Or was it after my father started bullying him? I don't know.
Have you tried speaking to Mr. Lewis about it?
I don't go out often, but yes.
But you are not responsible for your...
Am I not?
Goodbye, young man.
Even my dreams are soaked with glue.
It's locked.
prefer not to give you another beat. You again?
Harry,
Of all
you really...
He's my...
Do you have...
Only one.
Since the...
No one will...
Why...
It's true.
You could...
That's easy.
Goodbye.
Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Fancy...
You never... What do you know of Harry Peterson?
Harry's a good...
What trouble...
Despite being...
Right then.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
Don't be shy, handsome. What can Christina do for you?
I'm not looking for what you're selling.
All right then, but
Do you know Nurse...
I don't know her. But I know her name is Dorothea Crasionescu. She came from Romania like me and many others.
You seem to respect her.
Dorothea helps the sick people of Whitechapel. Everyone should respect.
Christina, have you been examined? The epidemic is spreading fast in London.
I don't like...
Considering your line of work, I assure you it is only...
If it is going to happen...
You can put your own...
And you think that would work?
Tell me about yourself.
Are you joking?
I have no... I always thought I was the master.
You know, this money is not only for...
Goodbye. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it? Very well. Hello again. Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary. A stubborn and mute comrade. Very... Forgive my interruption. Dr. Jonathan...
A scientist?
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Night. Healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fibre.
Why do you hate Nurse Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country. That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences, and most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I am. Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Soon the time will come when you will all be judged for your sins. Even now, he judges your words and actions. The wars of men should not be your main concern.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel.
Dr. Reed?
What is a
Ego.
So you...
Whitechapel?
That's quite odd.
Not at all, sir. And that's why...
Why are the news...
There's a war...
I served it.
Sir, street...
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these...
I've had to run...
That science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view, Doctor.
Christina Popper claims she sells her body because she can't find any other work. Do you believe her?
Of course I do. Her story is exactly what I want my readers to understand. We live in an intolerant and divided nation.
Do you think things will ever change, Mr. Darby?
I believe the situation can only improve. And now that women can vote, I'm convinced things will change.
I heard you're...
Not much, I'm afraid.
I'm a doctor.
Are you sure you're not...
Without a doubt.
I don't know much.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius wouldn't...
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of...
He never goes out?
No. A few days...
Really? How do you know?
He went to the...
Goodbye, Miss... Good evening, sir.
Please be my guest. Although I may not be the best informant regarding this part of town, my words speak about that which the eyes cannot see.
Really? Are you an artist of some kind?
I'm a poet, sir. Richard Nethercott, at your service.
What are your thoughts on the terrible situation in this city?
Terrible, you say? No. Of course, the death of so many innocents is a tragedy. But the scourge has not been all bad for the city. Oh, no, sir.
What are you talking about?
Do you remember London before the flu? Noisy, cacophonic, quiet nowhere to be found. And now, listen to this oddly peaceful silence.
Yes. The enjoyable silence of the grave. You have a unique perspective on the situation, I must admit.
Most people fail to understand my perspective. I don't blame them. But how could I call myself a poet if I veiled my feelings?
May I ask what you're doing at this hour of night, sir? Do you live here?
Not at all. I'm just enjoying the pleasure of a quiet walk. Though night talks are always preferable, if you ask me. Especially with strangers.
But are you not afraid of the epidemic?
Oh, why should I? I see some equity in the Spanish flu. No flesh should be saved, say the scriptures. Good or evil, rich or poor, all are equal in the eyes of the flu.
If you say so. But as a physician in a time of epidemic, I must caution you to avoid unnecessary exposure, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. But we both know the seeker of truth has to go boldly where the weak dare not.
Are you aware that your life could be in danger in this part of town?
But this is where I must be to feel the real beat of the city. I had to come, see it for myself, alone.
I understand your need for solitude, but it's not safe around here.
I don't care. I don't have many friends, Doctor, and my family despises me.
If some misfortune came upon you, who would be here to help you?
Well, you, for a start, my dear Doctor.
Do you need me? I understand you. Did you know the mute florist is a member of a secret society?
No, I didn't. But I thank you for this information, sir. For it only enriches the mystery surrounding the precious camellia.
Are you not curious? Is there not more you wish to know?
That girl has not an ounce of malice in her. Whatever she may be hiding,
I fear you...
Guilty as charged.
Tell me, Mr. Nethercott.
The place is not beautiful.
Do you not think it a little morbid?
On the contrary, sir. Whitechapel is full of life, full of beauty. Just like my dear muse, the wonderful Camellia.
What can you tell me about Camellia?
Not much. And that's the beauty of it. She can't speak, you know.
And have you...
Maybe I...
Perhaps you're...
One day...
In what way?
The struggle...
If you say...
Such...
Vivid.
Oh, yes?
May I ask you a few questions about the district?
Extraordinary part of town, is it not? I'll be glad to help you, if I can.
I'm looking for Dorothy Crane. A nurse.
Dorothy Crane.
What can you tell me about an old man called Darius?
Darius Petrescu? Yes, I know him. At first, I thought he was only a small...
Not interested in...
Darius is an old political activist.
I'll leave... Good evening.
And good evening.
You don't...
No, sir.
When she was younger, my mother was a painter and a poet. She told me many times how poor her artist friends were and how she helped them.
My parents pay for my rent, my food, and my clothes. All I have to give them in return is lies they do not believe.
You seem embarrassed.
Someday I hope to proudly offer my first publication to my parents. Until that day, I'll remain the failure of a...
I'll leave you. Hello again. Tell me about Richard Nethercott. I understand he is quite fond of you, Camellia. Very well. The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter. Darius is a bit less of a mystery now. It should not be that difficult to incite him to let me in.
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look.
Mr. Petrescu, just 1 minute, please.
You again. Go out.
Sir, wait. Don't you see we're on the same...
I'm nothing...
Yes, you are.
I have to admit...
It's locked, all right.
If you want to...
We've not been
I am.
Did you refuse to publish Richard Nethercott's previous works, Darius?
Yes. His manuscript is as pompous as he is starched. Now there's a man who loves the sound of his own voice.
You could have told him so.
As a great writer recently said,
tell me...
I do not believe in the afterlife.
Are you not worried?
She is as brave as she is tough.
Are you in love with Chameleon?
Don't be stupid.
Who is she, really?
She's not from around here.
You say she has no...
Well, there's that awful...
So Dorothy's real name is not Crane?
Like myself and many people in this area.
She seems important to the community. I know you fought...
I know my...
But Romania escaped the grasp of...
But it's not a...
Do you have any family?
Who knows?
Don't be embarrassed, sir. If you must know, my own father disappeared many years ago, and
It's quite awkward to talk about our family.
This war won't last forever.
No. I have taught strength.
How did you meet Nurse Crane?
I'm her oldest friend in England.
You mean occupied Romania, don't you?
Really? Then perhaps you have...
Tell me...
I do not...
Goodbye.
Convulsions, Doctor.
What do we have here, nurse?
Patient Razvan Vasily. High fever running on 3 days. Complaints of dizziness, muscle aches, and head pain. Diagnosed with influenza.
Treatment?
Aspirin and salicin for the fever and discomfort. Liquids for dehydration, but he's having trouble keeping even water down.
Thank you, nurse. Anything else I should know?
He did lose consciousness this morning, but he's never had convulsions like these.
He's not convulsing, he's choking. He's not getting any air. Scalpel! Hand me that scalpel!
What can I do, Doctor?
It's too dangerous to operate with these convulsions. Sedative, nurse. Do we have any anesthetics?
I'm sorry, Doctor. None at all.
I need to perform a tracheostomy. Short pipe. That rubber tube will do. We're going to cut a passage for air through the neck.
Yes, Doctor. He's breathing again, but he's coughing up blood.
Internal hemorrhaging. I need to make another incision into the chest cavity to drain the fluids from the lung. Prepare another tube.
A thoracostomy? Doctor, we've nothing to fight the infection. We need an aseptic environment.
Right then, Nurse Crane. What do you suggest we do?
I've no idea. I'm not the doctor.
Time is of the essence. We need to perform a thoracic drain.
Yes, Doctor. He's still bleeding, Doctor. I'm losing his pulse.
The drain must have punctured the intercostal artery. There's too much blood.
Are you all right, Doctor?
I can't see. I must first suture the artery. Find the wound. The source of the blood.
Needle and thread, Doctor.
Good. The stitches are holding. How's he doing?
We're losing him. We've lost his pulse. He's dying, Doctor!
Cardiac massage, now.
Cardiac... What? Are you making this up as you go along? We've lost the pulse. He's gone, Doctor.
Nurse, we did everything we could.
Truly? Everything you could. Is that how you'll report this in your log? Is this how the war went? Piling up one poor corpse beside the next?
This was not an influenza-induced seizure. I've never seen symptoms like these on the continent.
Neither have I. But the previous symptoms leading up to this attack were the same, indistinguishable from the epidemic.
No. There was something more vile in these reactions. Something primitive.
There have been numerous reports of mental breakdowns caused by the fever that accompanies the flu itself, Doctor.
Yes, but... I'd best take some samples of the blood for analysis.
Test my bedside manners. To what do I owe this courtesy? This is an unfitting place for the illustrious Doctor. I suspect it was more than intuition alone that led you to us. So, how might I be of service, Dr. Reed?
I've come to put an end to this insufferable...
Doctor, you think your warnings scare me?
But why Lady Ashbury? Why her, of all people?
She's pristine and proper, all right. But that she-wolf in sheep's clothing murders the poor for sport. I have her where she belongs, and I'll milk her for all she's got.
Dr. Swansea is a sensible and honest man. He wouldn't have refused your friend's care at Pembroke.
It's easy for you to say, Doctor. These people cannot go to the police, nor to the hospital. They don't even speak English. They depend on me for everything.
So, the end justifies the means. Is that your defense?
I know you're kind, Doctor. Just another fine-heeled, silver-spooned gentleman who was given the world on a platter. You know nothing of poverty. Nothing of the shame, the hunger, the loneliness.
You've convinced me of the sincerity of your actions and their noble justifications. But all the same, blackmail is a crime, and it will stop, Nurse Crane.
So, are you going to turn me over to the authorities?
Listen very carefully, Dorothy. You will erase from your memory everything you pretend to know about Lady Ashbury and Pembroke Hospital.
Let that rich bitch off the hook over my dead
Nurse
body.
Crane, enough. Listen as if your life depended on every word. I know you've a generous heart who gives freely to those in need, but you shall walk away from the shadier streets of your business.
I will never abandon...
Dorothy, the discussion has come to a close. Your clandestine activities in the Resistance are over. Let it go.
I'll let it go. Yes. All gone.
Oh, this one stinks already.
Eat this! Christ! He's dead!
When science fails you, this elixir will give you...
Good evening, my dear colleague.
I'd like to see what...
Not me.
Human blood. Whoever left these marks did so deliberately.
this ends! Christ the leech, boys! Its head! I'll kill it! Crush the leech, boys! Die, burning!
Pembroke is so lucky to have Dr. Reed, you know. I met him in New York once.
If only there were more of us, with less resignation and more determination.
I would ask you to avert your eyes, sir. Or did you not know it was rude to stare?
I knew it.
Speak up, Dr. Reed. I like a man who speaks.
You killed him.
Spare me your sarcasm, Jonathan.
We are vampires. We live by leech.
The situation is somewhat awkward nonetheless. I have not been observed sustaining myself for many decades. I have to say I'm a trifle embarrassed.
Anyway, I have concluded my inquiries concerning your blackmailer.
I see. Please excuse my agitated state. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't let anyone see me in this condition.
The case is closed, your ladyship. The person who took advantage of you has, shall we say...
So who was it?
My lady. The blackmailer was dealt with using the utmost discretion. The culprit's identity...
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, my lady.
If you have an inclination to learn more...
I don't understand. Why was I created and then left for dead?
That is a question only the one who made you can answer. It's not normal practice. I doubt even if you find him, he will answer you, considering how cruelly he treated you.
I'd like to avoid creating another vampire by mistake anyway. Tell me, how is it done?
The process is dangerous. It could even kill your potential progeny. If you did decide to sire an offspring, they must drink of your blood, Jonathan.
So me being a vampire could have been a mistake.
I very much doubt it, Jonathan. Contrary to the legends, it is not as simple to make another vampire by just biting someone.
I've been hearing a voice talking in my head. Is this some kind of insanity? It feels like the voice of the vampire that created me.
Hush. Tell no one this. It would be unwise to talk of such things amongst British immortals. Speak no more of your maker.
How could this cause offense?
Only the powerful immortals can mentally call to their progeny. No vampire or hunter will sleep easy, knowing that an unidentified elder is stalking the streets of London.
Excuse my forwardness, but are you my maker?
Me? Goodness, no. Only a foolish immortal would create a progeny without taking precaution, and I'm no fool.
A vampire? Is that what I am? What we are?
Such a crude word, defined by penny dreadfuls and drunken hacks. No. You are now an Ekon, and that you shall remain.
Are you an Ekon too?
Yes, I am. We are the closest thing to what man refers to as vampires. Forget what you think you know about us.
So we are Ekons. How can I identify us amongst other vampires?
How to put it? All Ekon are vampires. But all vampires are not Ekon. We are but a branch of the immortal tree.
Why did you save me in the canning factory?
I could hardly stand by and watch such a promising young blood as yourself be torn to shreds.
William Bishop wasn't the vampire that created me then?
No, Jonathan. Whatever their strength and demeanor, Skulls are the progeny of careless vampires. It cannot be the other way round.
What type of vampire is a Skull?
Not a true vampire. The deformed offspring of lesser vampires. It is a shame these creatures run wild, slaves to their baser instincts.
Why does Dr. Swansea allow you to feed on the patients of the hospital?
Dr. Swansea is a good and compassionate man. He is trying to find a solution for our hunger. Until that happens, he is clever enough to understand that I only feed upon the dying.
What do you know about this Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole?
The Brotherhood is well known amongst London Vampire Society. As long as our kind is discreet, and as long as they do not interfere, we have come to a mutual understanding.
And no one suspected you of the murders?
As you well know, suspicion has recently fallen on me of killing for pleasure. But you have my word, Jonathan. I take no pleasure in taking a life.
I know this is beyond the pale, but may I inquire your age?
Really? And I thought you were gentlemen. If you must know, I'm 27. I've been 27 for a long time now, and 27 I shall remain.
Very well. But I believe there is more to this than you are saying.
A lady has to have some secrets.
And who bestowed upon you this eternal youth?
My maker. He left this isle a long time ago.
When I awoke, changed, I was chased and attacked by vampire hunters. Prepared and well-trained.
Though I can't be certain, more than likely it was the once glorious Guard of Priwen.
Once glorious, but still dangerous.
They have seen better days, but all fanatics are dangerous. You would be wise to stay clear. They are sworn to destroy our kind.
You make them sound like some sort of cult.
More a society, and like all the best ones, a secret society. I thought them almost gone, but it seemed they have been recruiting.
I've been away from London and England for...
Things have gone from bad to worse here, Jonathan. I've lived in this city for a long time, and I've never seen it like this.
The Spanish flu has hit London that bad?
Yes, but it's not just that. I've heard things. Things I've not heard for a very, very long time. There are whispers in the shadows. Something far worse than the Spanish flu is here in the city.
What is it you fear?
Fear has long since flown this form. But there is something malevolent circling us. I feel fear is merely waiting in the wings.
Are there many vampires here in London?
Immortals are of a rare breed, and we often tend to hide. But you may occasionally meet some of us at night.
Do you know it?
You mean you...
What do you...
Every night...
Will they all...
I do not...
That's...
Vampire...
I bid you... I must quickly analyze the blood I took from Nurse Crane's patient. Razvan Vasily was infected by Spanish flu, but also has the highly unstable blood of the Scowls. Is the London vampire epidemic transmitted through the flu? I should talk to Dr. Swansea about it. Good evening.
Evening. Why do you...
I wasn't disfigured.
Why luck?
Come on.
Beauty is not...
Says Mr. Pretty.
Why luck?
Come on.
Beauty.
Says Mr. Pretty Face.
Tell me what really...
I went with a
Did you stop?
No.
Goodbye for...
Damn. The pain. It's here again.
Good evening.
Evening, Doc.
Goodbye. Hello again, Mr. Blight.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. You doing your rounds as usual?
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself. Evening, Edgar. Could I get your professional opinion?
Please speak, but I have something important to tell you.
This strain of flu, it's very different from the one I saw in Europe. It's downright peculiar.
Really? What makes you say that?
I've just looked at the blood of one of our recently deceased.
I see. Do you have anything more to go on?
This disease spreads and looks like the Spanish flu, but its effects differ greatly. The London strain is different from the continental one.
This is very interesting. Did you find something else?
Yes. Unlike the flu, the infected begin to show an increase in outwardly aggressive behavior. More than simple agitation. Once docile people become violent.
You mean like rabies? Is there a chance we could create a vaccine, Jonathan, like Pasteur? By the stove, that would be smashing.
There's a lot we're not seeing here, but it is spreading, and quickly. If we don't act, the whole city could be lost.
But Jonathan, we've a fantastic opportunity sitting right here in front of us. A weapon of choice.
What on earth do you mean?
Why, you, my dear boy. With your expertise and your blood, we could isolate the properties that course through your veins. Think about the possibilities.
I admit it did occur to me. Blood seems to be the common factor in all of this.
I totally agree. We're in uncharted territory here. Maybe it's just wishful thinking, but imagine the possibilities.
We'll discuss this more later. Thank you for your time.
No, thank you, Jonathan. But as I said, I needed to talk to you. I have some rather bad news.
Yes?
I'm afraid it's your sister.
My sister?
She's to be buried this evening at Whitechapel Cemetery. Your mother published the obituary this morning.
I see.
I'm sorry, Jonathan. Please accept my condolences.
I never thought I would have to attend my murdered sister's funeral. Mary, I can't forgive myself. I'll find the truth about what happened to us. I swear.
Sick and suffering.
Good evening.
I'm afraid...
A gun? Good evening, Ben.
I'm afraid...
Have you any news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
Not recently.
A gun? How?
I'm not your...
Have you heard anything?
Never heard of her.
Have you heard anything?
Never heard of her.
Goodbye.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many.
The gangs are rude.
Good eve.
Have you any news on Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
It seems her dispensary isn't so busy nowadays. Good thing for the Swanborough cordial.
I'd like to see what... Good evening, Mr. Petrescu.
I can ask you the exact...
How do you...
I would not even accept friend.
Yes, you do.
I said I don't want anything.
I heard what happened to Nurse Crane. How do you feel, Mr. Petrescu?
Everything was going well until you arrived. Dorothea helped people and will be sorely missed.
I regret it too. I wish she'd continued working at the Pembroke Hospital. She was a good nurse.
So you put an end to the operation. Did you put an end to Dorothea as well?
You seem to have a lot on your chest, sir. What's wrong?
I heard you are a famous surgeon. Tell me, what did you do to Dorothea? She was so bright, so clever. Then you made her an empty shell.
I didn't use drugs or medical trickery, Mr. Petrescu. All I did was talk to Nurse Crane. I promise you.
But what happened to her then? After you left, she did not even recognize me. Then she got careless and sick, and I had to flee.
Tell me
I do not believe in the after.
What do you plan to do now that Nurse Crane is gone?
I'm not sure. Strange men came to see me after Dorothea's death, with strange weapons and very odd stories.
You believe them, aren't you?
Yes, I am old and alone and...
What kind of stories?
Stories all Romanian children know. It was as if I was home again. Vampires, Mr. Doctor. Vampires.
Are you living on the streets, Mr. Petrescu?
And why not? Those who believe they'll be safe behind walls are blind.
What about your house?
My house is always open to any poor soul needing a roof. All my work here is lost now that Dorothea is gone, thanks to you.
Why are you so aggressive?
I remember the night you came here and convinced me to open my door to you, sir. I'd like to punch you right on your chops.
Goodbye.
Don't have your money. Come on, Baron. You pay for peace of mind.
Good evening, Christina.
Change your mind, Mr. Reed?
Do you need any...
Forgive.
What do you know about Nurse?
2 girls I know went to the dispensary yesterday. Nobody has seen them since. I worry about them, in case bad things happen.
Clayton Darby claims he...
I believe...
Are you talking...
I've seen...
What?
How can you...
Clayton...
I believe...
Goodbye.
There is something going on in this district. Good evening, Doctor.
Do you need...
That would be no...
If you...
Thank you.
Have you any...
It's a pit.
Goodbye.
are blinded by your...
Good evening, Mr.
It's fine.
Don't you...
Fate.
No doubt. Have you recent news of Nurse Crane and her dispensary?
If you propagate the devil's work, you'll perish by the devil.
I have heard enough for tonight.
Cheap price, good quality. You again? What do you want this time?
Can I offer you my...
Keep your men.
There is a...
All right.
Have you recent news?
I saw her wandering the streets.
Goodbye.
Good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid. Fancy...
You never... Do you need help?
To be honest,
I don't...
really.
Do you...
It appears those who dare to get healthcare...
Goodbye.
I should never have taken up my father's business.
This could be the box Lewis thought he lost. There's a letter inside. A love letter from Joe Peterson's wife, addressed to Barrett Lewis. Who should I give it to, I wonder?
Fancy buy.
You never... I found this box in an...
Let's have a look. Yeah, this is mine. So, you faced those loons that roam around there. Extraordinary.
I suppose I was lucky.
Luck is a commodity round here. Yours should be properly rewarded.
About this package, it's not just tools and...
I want to be rude or anything after your kind gesture, but it's none of your business.
Barrett.
Yeah, I did.
Did you ever try?
Never.
Do you mean?
No one will ever know for sure.
Goodbye.
I should never
You again.
Goodbye. Good evening, Harry. May I?
Sure. Is there only pain and suffering in this world?
So?
I'm not bothered.
Do you remember when...
Not really.
Why are you...
Because it hurts to remember.
How was he?
He was nice.
Would it ease...
Can't say. I'd be glad if he'd...
Why is that?
Sometimes I suspect it's me, Dr. Reed. Or it's this life.
Goodbye, young man.
Even my dreams are soaked with gloom.
You still want more from Christina?
When we spent the night together, my wallet went missing.
Are you calling me a thief? I don't have your stupid wallet.
I know you. You're a nice girl. Can't we solve this amicably?
No, I don't think so. And if you think you know me just because we share the bed together, you're just a lousy and arrogant journalist.
Good evening, Doctor.
Tell me, Clayton, do you really think this young woman stole your wallet?
Christina? Yes. I recently met her. A nice girl, despite her questionable conduct.
How exactly did you meet Christina?
During my investigation, I offered my hotel room to her to rest and get away from the street.
And what happened?
The next morning, my wallet and my watch had disappeared.
If you are going to sleep with a lady...
I can't really be mad at her, though.
Was it wise to be...
Maybe it was. But
I apologize. I didn't mean to be rude. What can you tell me about this woman?
She's very sensitive. So nostalgic about her country. I saw her cry once because she'd lost a precious souvenir from her homeland.
What was it?
A scarf her brother gave her before she came to England.
Why are you so...
We couldn't make...
Goodbye. Good evening, Christy.
Shane.
Did you steal Clayton Darby's wallet? Tell me the truth, Christina.
Of course I stole it. But I never thought he would come back to look for it.
Why did you do it? He seems to trust you.
For a time I thought he was different from other men. In the end, he just wanted to sleep with me. Same as the others.
Perhaps Clayton is different. Maybe you two should talk. A conversation couldn't hurt.
I know what I am and what people call me.
The ones you love. Tell me, Christy.
He's the only...
I understand your concern. I spent many months away from my family when I served on the front line in France.
Every time I write to him, I fear I won't receive an answer. It kills me to know he is still...
England is perhaps not the best place in the world to live at the present time. Are you certain it's worth the sacrifice?
You think you know it all because you fought in the war. But my brother is no soldier.
I know. We all understand the risks to soldiers, but we don't necessarily recognize the civilian casualties caused by these conflicts.
Yes, wars are decided by rich men who will never take the risk of being shot, raped, or maimed.
Does your brother know what you do to earn the money to bring him here?
Don't be simple, of course not. And he must never know. Everything will be different once he is here with me.
Goodbye, miss. Take care of yourself as best you can.
Something going on in this district.
Morbidity can breathe its own beauty and grace.
She climbs! He tries to top! Bloody lead! I can't see her, no one bold. Back, demon! Back! Ooh, that's good smart!
Mother, why have you come here? This is proving far worse than I imagined.